Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
Do we have any other agenda items? Here, let me put it in edit mode. Edit page. All right, so that's our current agenda items. Does anyone have anything else?
None from me.
All right.
Hey, Joe, I'm filling in for Satanam.
Ah, okay. All right, we'll give people just two or three more minutes to join, being the first meeting back from the holidays and all. Welcome back, everyone, to 2025.
Yes, Happy New Year, everyone.
All right, why don't we start? All right. Sridhar, do you have any general announcements?
No, nothing
Okay.
this week. Yeah.
All right. I don't have any general announcements either. We have quorum, so Mango Boost, go ahead and take over. Would you like to share?
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm Dongju from Mangoes. Thank you for reserving a time slot for us. Today, I'm gonna briefly introduce our storage solution and explain why we want to contribute our band bridge for storage APIs. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Actually, this is a slide deck presented in the OCP Global Summit last year. It's available in public, so I will skip the detailed things. This page shows our product lineup, which is currently available on the market. In this meeting, I want to introduce Storage Boost, which offers and accelerates the data paths of NVMe over TCP initiator and target. Actually, we have a full set set for TCP/IP offload engine IP, we can fully offload software stacks for NVM over fabrics and TCP/IP to our FPGA-based DPU hardware. And this solution is available in AMD U45 and FPGA card, but using Intel Altera FPGA card is also a possible option because the core IP logic is fully compatible with most FPGA platforms. So this page is the main topic in this meeting. So it highlights the key messages of our solution. It's TCP and Ethernet-based solution, and it can offload the entire NVMe over TCP software stack to the hardware. In the initiator side, we call NTI. It provides emulated NVMe devices with SR-IOV support. And of course, the standard NVMe driver can be loaded in the host. Also, the U45 and FPGA card has embedded ARM cores, and our SPK-based software stack is running on the ARM cores. So our software stack is completely hidden to the host. And also, this software stack handles the control paths of NVMe and NVMe OF. So the data paths can be fully uploaded to the hardware without any software involvement, so which result in high performance. In the target side, we call NTDT. Its software is also based on SPDK, NVMe OF TCP target, but we heavily modified its source code to upload NVMe OF and TCP/IP stack to the hardware. Also, it enables peer-to-peer data communication between SSD and FPGA. As a result, it just consumes a single CPU cores to handle control paths, and it can achieve 200 gig line rate for 4K I/O operation. So this is a brief introduction to our solution, and I think our solution is quite similar to the existing storage solution from other vendors like NVIDIA and Intel. So I think the existing OPI storage API will be similarly applicable to ours. And I also think the OPI storage APIs are very helpful when deploying our product to the market. And while implementing our rich code, I hope we can propose better API design or improve functionalities to the OPI community. So that's it. Do you guys have any questions or comments?
Hi, one question on the target side.
Mhm.
Is it the DPU standalone or is it inside the server, a target server?
Did you mean JBOF?
The DPU is like it's the same setup as a PCI card that you put into a server.
Yeah, U45 and card is a PCI
Yeah.
card.
Got it.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
So I understand the proposal is to provide to OPI some source code to support this solution, and that it is similar to similar solutions for other vendors. If that's true, my question is, I wonder what scope there is to for some common code, for example, to avoid duplication, or perhaps that is already a solved problem.
Actually, I didn't look at the detailed codes in other vendors, but I think, of course, there are duplicated code, but I think our solution also have special features, I think. So maybe the
Well,
Hmm?
let-
I can comment.
yeah.
I heard that your solution is based on SPDK, so probably you can just review the code we have in OPI SPDK bridge. So you can look into, for example, NVIDIA, Marvell, Intel bridges, how they reuse the existing code, and probably you can benefit from that, and we can avoid duplication by doing that.
Yeah, thank
Well,
you.
Okay, so go back through what do you actually want to contribute, right? Because the request said that you wanted to contribute the equivalent of a OPI vendor name bridge repo that then bridges between the storage APIs in your device. So you effectively want to implement the storage APIs hooks into your device, which is directly in line with what we have for NVIDIA, Marvell, and Intel already existing, right? That's what I linked in the meeting notes. So do you want to contribute something else on top of that? Maybe I missed it. Or do you want to contribute a bridge library to provide the implementation for the storage APIs?
Yeah, my first thought is to implement our just bridge code for our SDK.
Okay, then there's not a okay, so I don't believe we then have an issue with code duplication because that's just a straight SCI library SDK bridge to SDK style implementation of an interface. What am I missing? I don't know. So Simon, you had asked that. What am I missing on code duplication?
I didn't have a specific idea about it. It was more a general question. If the code duplication is minimal, then I have no objections at all.
I mean, if you pulled it apart, the code might all look similar across all four, because they're, doing very similar things. But it's not like you can have reuse because those are vendor-specific bridges and would only be duplicative in where those individual cards behave the same or have the same stuff underneath. So I think that part's okay.
Sure. I mean, I will say I feel that this is a nice use case, and I think contributing to OPI is very nice indeed.
Yeah.
And so
I
thank
agree.
you. I welcome the proposal.
I agree. So, okay. Does anybody object to starting this process with Mango Boost? Okay. Hearing no objection, then we agree to move forward. And so, Artisan are you would you be the best contact?
I suppose you need to ask Boris to create such a repo because I do not have rights to do that.
Okay, so Mark should have rights, correct?
Maybe, I don't know.
If
I
Mark
know that previously
Mark-
Boris created.
Yeah. If Mark doesn't have rights, then Mark will have rights
Okay.
immediately. So, Dongju, you want to please reach out to let me get you his exact email. Then
Okay, I will do.
yeah, no, but I mean, oh yeah, I shouldn't tell you here over the phone. with the recording going. So you want to reach out to Mark Sanders from Dell, who's one of our maintainers, to create the bridge repository for you. And then what you have to do is put your code in there, create a description, follow the pattern that's already there for the 3 existing bridges, and submit a pull request for review. And so then what we'll do is we'll come back and review the pull request. If there's anything that requires answers or controversial at all, or tricky, or we can bring it back to this meeting and do resolve any questions or open issues, and then the pull request will be accepted, and then you'll be formally part of OPI, and then tell people to pull the bridge down and use it, which will be so.
Okay.
There's no impediment to this. It's just we just have to follow the process, which is a typical open source thing. To get your like I say, to get your bridge created. Okay, since we don't record,
Or you can reach out to me. I have put my email ID. I will help you with that.
yeah, reach out to Sridhar and we'll exchange all the email information we need to get you guys going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And like I say, all right, so yeah, this is great. Thank you for bringing this in, and we definitely appreciate it. We'll definitely do the right work to, you guys will do most of the work, but we'll facilitate getting this incorporated. Yeah, and basically Sridhar will just act as a email exchange point. Although I guess we all show up on the public mailing list. Are you on the OPI general mailing list or the TSC mailing list?
Let me check later.
Okay. Anyway, so reach out to Sridhar. He'll get you set up with what you need to get set up, and we'll coordinate that way.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we'll coordinate that way, and it'll be quick. I mean, we just need to get a couple of emails exchanged, and we'll be good to go. So, and Sridhar can get you on the general list and the and in theory, you can also join the TSC list. That's all open, and you can post, hey, here's what we want to do. We'd like to recruit, request a repo creation. You can also do it on the Slack channel, and Sridhar can get you set up with that. Okay, excellent. So we'll get you squared away and get going. All right. Anything else on this topic? Anyone at all? All right, and you're welcome to stay for the rest of the call. Again, these are recorded and posted publicly most of the time. So, and this one certainly will be. All right. All right. Let's move to the second. Oh, let me put a note that we're agreeing. All right. In the while I'm typing, I see Gal Zeidman's on, and along with Orendura, we're from NVIDIA, and Gal is the lifecycle and provisioning chair, and we need a replacement for him. So he's going to give us the current status and plans for the lifecycle and provisioning working group, and we then need to talk about volunteering or drafting someone for his replacement. How are you doing, Gal?
I'm great, folks. How are you?
Yeah,
Glad to be here.
Yeah, we're doing good. Yeah, please take it
Great.
away and share. You can share your screen if you like, and let us know the current status. And
Okay. So basically, during the past year, I think the biggest thing we promoted and voted here in the steering is the redfish part. regarding Redfish. So NVIDIA published on the lifecycle its Redfish API, which we support, and we always update on our official documentation as well. Regarding Redfish, currently what we are waiting for is for each vendor to publish its own Redfish API. Intel, as I understood, already has Redfish support, and I guess the next topic in the Redfish part is for Intel to provide its own Redfish implementation, and then comparing Intel versus NVIDIA one, which can lead to a wide topic of discussions. I guess currently since we were the only vendor that implemented it, then this topic was kind of empty in terms of DPU vendors themselves. On top of that Redfish API, we started building in OPI an Ansible collection for provisioning DPUs via Redfish. Now, that Ansible collection is something that was mostly developed by Boris actually, and took inspiration from things that we already had in NVIDIA internally. Once we will have Intel part of Redfish implementation, then NVIDIA as an open source Redfish, an open source Ansible collection for provisioning DPUs. Some of it is through Redfish, other part of it is for through the host, which is not standardized on, of course. So I assume that afterwards, in terms of development part, not only standardizing on the API, I think that one interesting topic would be to lead standardization to implementation. Meaning we can take the NVIDIA open source Ansible playbook and collection that we have for Redfish, and see what are the differences between it and Intel, and if we can take what is currently tested and working at NVIDIA and use it on Intel and see what the gaps are and what we can actually easily standardize on, because those are not only Redfish APIs that we need to standardize on, those are also flows, provisioning flows. So this is on the Redfish part. The other second topic that we had this year is the standardization on host boot synchronization on PLDM. I'll paste here in the chat. I don't know if you remember, a while back we proposed in PLDM an embedded processor OS states, which was derived from, I think, almost 6 months of talks in the group, and we proposed it to PLDM, and it got accepted, and it became part of the standard. Pasted it here in the chat. Now, the next item, first of all, it is there. There's nothing to do about it anymore. We're all agreed on. But one thing that we wanted to do is we wanted to bring folks from PLDM to talk about DPUs and XPUs and other topics that got into PLDM which are related. This unfortunately we never really found a good time for that, which with people attending from OPI and PLDM and Yuval from NVIDIA, which is sharing PLDM, was able to join. But this is still an open topic, and Yuval would love to join and give a talk to the team and review the new things that got entered into PLDM other than OPI suggestion for the provisioning forum. So this is also a next topic that the team can take. Those two, I think, are the main items that I have in terms of functional ones. The last one is that I wanted to raise is general attendance and motivation. I don't know if you know, but I kind of got sidetracked 6 months ago, kind of moved to a different topic internally within NVIDIA, and but I kept leading the lifecycle provisioning working group, and then I had a couple of months of reserve duty, and during this time I couldn't find anyone to replace me doing the meetings. So we had a couple of months without meetings, and since then attendance faded away. Even when I came back, it was really hard to create a meeting with more than 2-3 people at a time. So I think this would be the biggest challenge for my replacement, to gather the correct folks from the different companies, spark motivation again, because when we started the first 6 months, we had pretty high attendance in the lifecycle working group. Yeah, that's for me. That's my report. If you have any questions or anything, I'm here.
Yeah, anyone? Anyone have any questions? So the only question I have is, what were you planning to do next? Or what's the next thing that needs to be closed or, opened and then, worked on and then closed in the lifecycle and provisioning group?
So I think that attendance and motivation is the biggest thing, because without people wanting to participate and so on, then it's hard to lead anything. Or
Oh, for sure.
no, we cannot standardize this in isolation, or at least we can kid ourselves for that. So after we resolve that, the main thing I wanted to do is to have this PLDM introduction. I think this is a topic that would be relevant not only for DPU vendors, but also for server vendors. This is a topic that we worked a lot on at the beginning of the year. We actually managed to promote something in PLDM, and there are a lot of other things that got into the standard. So I managed to get an expert to come and fill us in and give us a review, but never managed to find a time where we had more than 8 attendants for him to speak with. And I didn't want to bring him to just talk to 4 or 5 people. So I think this is the next mile. And the second topic is for vendors, XPU vendors, to publish their Redfish support. Since Intel already has an Redfish support, I think this is the next mileage. So get Intel to publish the Redfish API and comparing Intel implementation and NVIDIA implementation, and out of that create some sort of a standard OPI Redfish related operations.
All right. Any questions from anyone else?
Thank you, Gal. I'll be reaching out. This is Miles Penner and Intel. We'll be reaching out to our Redfish team and see where they're at on the implementation and engagement.
Perfect. If you need any assistance or want links to already existing playbooks coming from NVIDIA, then we'll be happy to share them. It's always hard to find stuff like that online. You can share links and so on. So just feel free to ping me on Slack, and I'll give you all the relevant documentation, links, playbooks, whatever that we have open source.
Yeah, just a brief update on Redfish implementation at Marvell. So we are also working on it. So once we have critical mass, then we'll update.
Perfect.
Excellent. Yeah, and
Okay, folks.
Gal, I want to say, give you big thanks for stepping into this role and doing it effectively over the past, what is it, almost 2 years. So very much appreciate it, taking over from Boris and driving this forward. Excellent work with the PLDM stuff. Thank you very much from myself and the TSC as a whole.
Thanks, guys.
All
I was
right.
glad to be here. And if anybody needs me, I'm available on Slack always. So feel free to ping.
Excellent. All right. So TSC, do we have any volunteers for Mr. Zeidman's replacement? From any of our organizations?
No, you can-
Okay. So over the next week, let's work on drafting someone. And if not, then we need to figure out how we're gonna carry lifecycle and provisioning work forward around Redfish APIs. I mean, Redfish is obviously de facto standard for these things and de jure standard because even I worked on it for a while a few years ago. It's everywhere now. So this is a good thing to drive forward and making sure that the things we need for DPUs are in there and that we have implementations where needed. So I think this is useful work and we can have actual deliverables. So over the next week or so, what we have to commit to is having someone in place 1 month, no more than 1 month from now. And Gal, if you reach out to the people who've been attending the meetings and ask if any of them would like to take over.
Sure, I can ask. I think it would be better for an XPU vendor to lead this, honestly, for my perspective, but definitely anyone can.
Yeah, and then so I would basically say Miles, Chetan, and Oren. Do you guys have anyone who could be part of this?
I know I possibly do. There's we have our implementation that's currently in production with our IPUs, and reach out to that team and talk to the leads in that place. Get your interest.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Miles.
Yeah, Joe, we can talk offline as well.
Okay, great. Excellent. Yes. And again, you can always have a chat with me offline, or if you want me to chat with prospective candidate as well, then all of that's perfectly fine. All right. Thank you, Gal. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Josh, you put a note in chat. Why don't we bring that up as a additional topic? Already pasted your chat comment into the meeting notes. So why don't you go through what you're looking for and your thoughts?
Yeah, being that, our primary function, service, whatever you want to call it, right, is servicing customers' complex needs. As customers start adopting these things, we want to make sure we're hooked up with everybody. Right. From a partner perspective, technology alliance, whatever you want to call it, if we've got a customer using one of your cards, we want to be partners of some sort. So, not if they run into issues, because we all know how technology works, but when they run into issues, we can provide that next level support like we're known for in the F5 space and other spaces where we have technology partners.
Right. And And if you're going to make use of the OPI APIs and get people's cards up and running, I presume you're saying, hey, I need to make sure I have the partnerships to promote OPI properly.
Right, exactly that too. And traditionally we've been an F5 partner forever and ever. We're also a Red Hat partner. We have an NDA with Intel, but as far as I'm aware, we're not part of the partner program, or I think it's Partner Alliance that you folks call it. We're working with Dell, of course, to get a partnership there. Even though we have a relationship with Dell, it's you guys are a customer, not necessarily a partner. So we are working on that. But any of the the other vendors, whether it's software that's going to ride on top of these things, or you guys that are making these things, any information you can send my way to get those processes started would be much appreciated.
Any questions? Okay. Again, we can take that up more at future meeting. All right. Anything else from anyone? All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll call the meeting closed then, and I'll post the notes immediately. And again, if you have updates to the notes, you can send them to me, or things you want added, and I can add that to the notes. All right. Appreciate everyone's time. We will have a meeting next Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Talk to you guys later.
Thanks, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for hearing me out there. Y'all have a great one.